Nammo Phat. Good morning. Thank you for joining me for today's daily practice check-in. Listen, listen, listen. This beautiful sound calls us back to our true home. The first mindfulness training. Aware of the suffering caused by the destruction of life, I vow to cultivate compassion and learn ways to protect the lives of people, animals, plants, and minerals. I am determined not to kill, not to let others kill, and not to condone any act of killing in the world, in my thinking, or in my way of life. This morning we're continuing to read Ajahn Thanissaro's essay on Buddhism and respect from his book, The Karma of Questions. If you view true happiness as totally impossible, totally predetermined, or totally random, respect is unnecessary, for it makes no difference in the outcome of your life. But if you see true happiness as possible and its causes as precarious, contingent, and dependent on your attitude, you'll naturally show them care and respect needed to keep them strong, healthy and strong. This is reflected in the way the canon treats the issue of respect. It details the varied ways in which lay people of the Buddhist time showed respect to the Buddha and the monastic Sangha, and the more standardized ways in which the members of the Sangha showed respect to the Buddha and to one another. Especially interesting is the protocol of respect for the Dharma. Buddhist monks and nuns are forbidden from teaching the Dharma to anyone who shows disrespect, and the Buddha himself is said to have refused to teach his first sermon to the five brethren until they stopped treating him as a mere equal. This protocol, of course, may have been a cultural accident, something picked up willy-nilly from the society of the Buddhist time, but there are passages in the canon suggesting otherwise. Buddhism was one of the samana, contemplative movements in ancient India, which claimed to follow truths of nature rather than mainstream cultural norms. These movements were very free in choosing what to adopt from prevailing customs. Buddhist descriptions of other samana movements often criticize them for being disrespectful not only to outsiders but also among themselves. Students are shown being disrespectful to their teachers, their group meetings raucous, noisy, and out of control. All of this is then contrasted with the way Buddhists conduct their meetings in mutual courtesy and respect. This suggests that the Buddhists were free to reject the common customs of respect, but made a conscious choice not to. This choice is based on their insight into respect as a prerequisite for learning. It's easier to learn from someone you respect than from someone you don't. Respect opens the mind and loosens preconceived opinions to make room for new knowledge and skills. At the same time, people who value their knowledge feel more inclined to teach it to someone who shows respect than to someone who doesn't. However, the type of learning the Buddha emphasizes is not simply the acquisition of information. It's a skill leading to total release from suffering and stress, and this is where the issue of respect connects with causality, for the Buddhist theory of causality centers on the question of how it's possible to learn a skill. As cybernetics theory shows, learning in general is possible only when there is feedback. Learning a skill requires the further ability to monitor feedback and choose how to use it to modify behavior. The Buddha's discoveries in causality explain the how and the what that allow for these factors. The how he expressed as a causal formula, the what as an analysis of action, the factors that shape it, together with the range of results it can give. The causal formula, simply put, states that each moment is composed of three things: results from past actions, present actions, and the immediate results of present actions. Although this principle seems simple, its consequences are very complex. Every act you perform has repercussions in the present moment that also reverberate into the future. Depending on the intensity of the act, those reverberations can last for a very short or a very long time. Thus, every conditioned experience is shaped by the combined effects of past actions coming from a wide range over time, together with the effects of present acts. Causality over time places certain limitations on each moment. The present is not a clean slate, for it's partially shaped by influences from the past. Immediate causality in the present, however, makes room for free will. Not everything is determined by the past. At any moment, you can insert new input into the process and nudge your life in a new direction. Still, there's not so much room for free will that causality becomes arbitrary. Every this put into the system produces a particular type of that. Events follow discernible patterns that can be mastered. The what that keeps this process in motion is the factor allowing for feedback and the monitoring of feedback. The central element in that what is intention, which the Buddha identified as the essence of action, or karma. Intention, in turn, is shaped by acts of attention, which ask questions about perceptions and create views from those questions. Because you can attend to the results of your intentions, there is an internal feedback loop allowing you to learn. Because attention can ask questions, it can monitor that feedback to determine how best to put it to use. And because your intentions, guided by views and offering new input into the present, can then reshape your experience, your ability to learn can make a difference. You can change your behavior and reap the results of your improved skills in terms of greater and greater happiness. How far can that happiness go? In the course of his awakening, the Buddha discovered that the pursuit of skillfulness can ultimately lead beyond time and space, beyond the realm of conditionality and rebirth. From this discovery, he identified 4 types of karma, the first 3 giving pleasant, painful, or mixed results in the round of rebirth, and the 4th leading beyond all karma to the end of rebirth. In other words, the principle of causality works so that the actions can either continue the round or bring it to an end. Because even the highest pleasure within the round is inconstant and undependable, he taught that the most worthy course of action is the 4th kind of karma, the type that led to his awakening, to put an end to karma once and for all. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. Sadhu. 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 Thank you for joining me this morning.